All right, guys, so we're going to continue with another example of graphing a parabola. So let's look at this example right here, y equals 2 times x minus 5 squared minus 7. And so we know because this a value is greater than 1, then our parabola is going to get skinnier and it's going to be stretched more. So remember our vertex, immediately we know, since this is our h, that it's going to be 5, negative 7. And then we know we're still doing our step pattern, 1, 3, 5, and 7. But this time, because our a is 2, we're multiplying everything by 2. So now our step pattern is going to be 2, 6, 10, 14, and so on. All right, so let's look at that. Let's go back to our graph over here that we did before. And we know that our vertex was 5, negative 7. Hopefully you have that in your notes. 5, negative 7 is down here. And remember, we're going to go over 1 up 2. Over 1 up 2. All right, and then we're going to go over 1 up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then over 1 up 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're doing the same thing on the other side. We're going over 1 up 2, right? Over 1 up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over 1 up 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, it's exactly symmetrical from our other point. So then we have enough points here to just draw our parabola. Definitely mine is not going to be perfect, but again, this is a sketch. That's all you really are required to do, is just a sketch. So that's what it pretty much looks like. All right, and so I just wanted to show you that before I get to explain our next area, which is where we're talking about the minimum and the maximum of parabolas. So I'm going to be looking at our homework because I think that I had some questions about what you're supposed to do. So let's make sure that we understand this. So let's look at number 7 from the homework. And we have f of x equals negative x squared plus 8x minus 20. And we are supposed to find either the minimum or maximum of this parabola. And if you remember from our other videos, we look at our a value. So again, we know our a is negative 1. So because it's negative, remember our parabola is going to look something like this. We know it goes downwards. So remember, when something is negative, when there's a parabola that's negative, then we have a maximum value. So automatically we know that we're looking for a maximum value. All right. And all you're doing to find the value is we're going to find our vertex. So let's look at our vertex. Remember, we look at our b value, which was 8. And we're going to say, okay, negative b, so negative 8 over 2 times a, which is negative 1. Let's simplify that. So now we get negative 8 over negative 2. And we get our x value of 4. So our x equals 4. And remember, we need to find our y value now. So we're going to go back into our function and we're going to do f of 4. Remember, we're solving for y, so we have to plug in our x. So we're going to say f of 4 equals negative, and we're putting a parenthesis, all right, plus 8, and then parenthesis, minus 20. I'm doing it faster because hopefully you're getting faster at this. So we're going to plug in our 4 for every time we have an x. Okay, let's look at this. This would be negative 16. Actually, no, it would be, it would be negative 16. Sometimes we just have to think about it for a second. Plus 32 minus 20. So here we get simplified to 16, right? minus 20 equals negative 4. So our y value is negative 4. So our coordinate point, our vertex, right, is 4. And then negative 4 is our y value. So let's think about that for a second. So I want to come and I want to look at, and it asks you on number 7 to sketch a graph. So we're going to sketch a graph, and we're going to use the same skills that we've been talking about our steps, our pattern, the 1, 3, 5, 7 pattern. And so this is our little sketch here. And we know that our vertex was 4, negative 4. So we're going to go down here. So we know that's our vertex. And I just want you to see what this looks like. So we know because it's a negative, right? Our step pattern is going to be negative 1, negative 3, negative 5, negative 7, right? So we're going to go over 1, down 1, over 1, down 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to sketch. So we're not going to go too much farther. So here we're going to go over 1, down 1, over 1, down 3. So I'm just doing a quick sketch, but remember it's going to look like this. So this is our sketch. Now, this is what I want to explain. Remember, when we are talking about a minimum or maximum, we already discussed that this is a maximum because our highest point is at the top. And remember, this vertex here was for negative 4. So if you look at the vertex, and I'm just going to draw a line straight across the highest point of this parabola. And if we look at the highest point of this parabola, we know that it's not going higher than our y value, which is negative 4. So whenever you're talking about a maximum or a minimum, you're going to look at your y value. And so our y value here is negative 4. So for our answer where it says if this is a minimum or maximum, well, we know it's a maximum value, and we know that that is going to equal negative 4. That's your answer for number 7. Okay, now I can try another one to make sure that we're understanding this. I'm going to look at number 9, and we have f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 1. Okay, now we automatically know that our a is 1 and it's positive. So we know our parabola is going up, correct? So the vertex is at the bottom. And so this has to be a minimum. So we're going to find the minimum value. Automatically, you know that. Now, in order to find the minimum value, we need to find our vertex. So again, for our vertex, we're going to say negative b. So it'll be negative 2 over 2 times 1, so that we know that's positive 2. So now we get negative 2 over 2. And so we get negative 1. Right, for our x. So our x of our vertex is negative 1. And now we're going to plug in our negative 1 into our function in order to get y. So we're going to come here and say f of negative 1 equals, and then we're going to put a parenthesis for our x, right, before we even do anything. And we're just going to put our negative 1 there, right? So let's simplify carefully. Negative 1 squared is going to be positive 1. Now, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Now, this becomes negative 1 minus 1, and that equals negative 2. That is our y value. Well, I put a box around that because that's actually your answer, because remember, our vertex now is negative 1, which was our x, and negative 2, which is our y. Remember, I told you that whenever you're finding minimum or maximum value, your answer is going to be the y value. So our minimum value is negative 2. So if we come back over and we sketch that graph, which you were supposed to do, let's sketch that. So let's look. Our vertex, we said, was -1, -2. So we're going to come right here to -1, and we're going to go on to -2. And since this isn't, our A is 1, we're just going to do our regular step pattern. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to do a small graph, small parabola. Okay, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3. And that's all I'm just going to plug those points, because again, it's just a sketch, and you can generate more points if you want to, but this is what you know, that this is what the parabola is supposed to look like. It's supposed to be a little curvier, but you understand that this is, and we know again that it is a minimum value. And again, our answer is, our minimum value is -2, and that's our answer. So minimum value equals -2. And I want to see if I have enough time, hopefully, to go to another problem. I want to look at number 11. So let's look at number 11. Let's see. Number 11 says, I'll use a pen so you can see better. F of x, all right, equals 3x squared minus 54x plus 241. Well, they're asking you to find our vertex. And so we know how to do that. We say negative b. So we have -54, which just becomes, it's going to become positive 54, right? Over 2 times our A, which is 3. So let's simplify this. It's going to be 54, because a negative times a negative becomes a positive. So 54 divided by 6 equals what? 54 divided by 6 is 9, right? So our x value is 9. So we did that. So now we have to plug in our 9 into our function to find our y. So let's do that. So we have f of 9 equals 3, put a parenthesis. All right, put our 9 here, our 9 there. So remember, we start with your exponent. So we have 9 squared is 81. So we have 81 times 3. All right, and that's 243. Minus, now we have 54 times 9. You see how I'm always working things out. I never am relying on a calculator. Is that right? That's right. All right, and plus our 241. So now we have 486 minus 243, all right? And we get 243. We get negative 243 plus 241. And so we know that that equals -2, right? So that's our y value. So now our vertex, so it said to ask you for your vertex, so we know our vertex is, our x value is 9, our y value was -2, that's your vertex. And remember, when you are talking about the axis of symmetry, we're asking where you draw the line where that parabola is split in half. So remember, I told you that whenever you're talking about the axis of symmetry, you're always going to look at your x value. Okay, x value. So our axis of symmetry is x equals 9. So that's our answer for that. And then it asks you to say if it's a minimum or maximum value. Well, we know that our parabola is going up. We know that. So this is going to have to be a minimum value. And this is very easy, because now all we're going to do is look at our y value. So our minimum value equals -2. So those are all of your answers for number 11. You can do the same thing for number 14. All right, you're going to do the same exact thing. So I hope that helps a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.